everybody, it's Jenny, and today I'm excited to share a project for the newest Wizarding World release from Pixie Dust Designs. For my project today, I'm going to be using the super cute wizard mug die. It's made up of all the pieces that will result in this adorable little mug along with a wand and an owl. And here's just a quick look at all those pieces. Along with this die, I'm also going to be bringing in a word die from the nesting frame die set from the July release. And I'm going to be using the Believe. In today's video, I'm going to be making some fun and chunky embellishments using all these dies here. So I'm going to start by pulling everything out and matching up all the dies with some different colors of cardstock. Once I had all my pieces lined up with the corresponding colors, I went ahead and die cut everything out. Next up, I started layering all my pieces and gluing them together. I started with the eyes for my owl, and then I'm going to move on to the wand, and you'll see here that I have 3 pieces for the wand, and I just wanted to stack those up to make it extra sturdy. And I chose to do that just because I'm creating some embellishments and I'm not necessarily sure what I'm going to do with them at the moment. So they might not be going onto a card. So I just wanted to make sure that they held up for whatever I used them for. Next up, I'm going to work on the base layer of my mug, which will make up the face. So I'm going to bring in some Tattered Rose Distress Oxide and go ahead and color that in. I'm also going to blend in a little bit of spun sugar for some rosy cheeks. I'm going to add some ground espresso distress ink to the edges of the hair to give it some dimension. I'm also going to add some Lost Shadow Distress ink to the edges of my owl, and then I'm going to use some pumice stone on the darker gray pieces. After I have my inking done, I can go ahead and start layering up all my pieces and gluing them together. For the little envelope that the owl holds in its feet, it cuts with a score line, so that top piece just folds over, and I'm going to glue that down. And once that's glued down, I can take this little die cut wax seal and pop that on there too. To start assembling my mug, I took the black base layer here that I cut from 100-pound cardstock, and then adding on my inked panel on top of that, and then the handle. Next up, I added the scarf piece to the bottom of the mug. When I'm gluing on the hair, I'm just going to add glue to the top and leave all the fringe pieces glue-free, because then I can go ahead and sneak the glasses and one of the eyebrows up underneath without having to pull anything up. And of course, the cool thing about this mug is that the placement of the glasses and the eyebrows is totally up to you. So you could move them up higher or lower or add them before the hair. Any way works. But for me, I like to just go ahead and put the glasses on there and then glue on the eyebrows first and then go back in and glue down the glasses. And once I have all those features in place, then I can just go ahead and add the eyes. Here I'm just using my glue eraser to remove a little bit of glue that seeped out from earlier. And once I have that cleaned up, I can move on to the little lightning bolt piece. And I'm just going to snip off a little piece of this paper here and go ahead and ink that up with some more tattered rose and spun sugar, and then go ahead and die cut that piece from there. And once I have that die cut, I'm just going to add some glue and pop that right onto my mug. I love all the attention to detail and the extra bits that come with the mug, like the wand, and so I'm just going to go ahead and take that and pop that on the bottom. I'm going to do the same thing with the envelope and the owl and go ahead and attach those together. And to make the wax seal look a little more waxy, I'm going to take a drop of glossy accents, and I'm just going to use my piercing tool to add that to the tiny little seal. And now I'm going to move on to my word die. I'm going to bring in the word believe, and I had previously cut that from some white cardstock, but here is a little hack to create a layering piece. I'm just going around the actual die with a pen, and then I'm going to fussy cut that out. And there you have a shadow piece for your word die. So next up, I'm just going to glue those together. And I also wanted to mention that the die set does include a tiny little smile to create a mouth, but this time I'm going to go ahead and leave that off. Next up, we're going to get into the chunky additions to my embellishments. I'm going to be adding this tiny little cauldron charm off the side of my mug, and I have this tab here with a hole in it, and I'm just going to go ahead and add the eyelet. And once I have that in place, I can go ahead and add on the little cauldron charm. Then then I can attach that to my mug with some glue along with the word believe. And you could totally stop here and you have a couple of super cute embellishments, but I went a little extra with these and I'm going to bring in some tulle to create some rosettes. I trimmed down some 1-inch strips to about 13 inches long, and I'm going to layer the yellow on top of the red. And once I had those strips all layered up, I just wrapped them around my forefingers and then secured them in the center with some baker's twine. Next up, I'm going to trim the ends off of each side and then start fanning out the tulle pieces. Off camera, I created a second rosette for my owl piece, and I know these are going to be chunky, but I wanted to flatten down the rosettes a tiny bit so they weren't too crazy. So I just used some coasters and my little die cut machine, and while my glue gun was heating up, I just let those sit. But then all I'm going to do to attach them is add a little bit of glue to the center and press those down. And once I've got that done, I'm left with 2 super adorable magic themed embellishments. And you can see how chunky and fun and cute they are. I think they're perfect for ornaments, adding to Happy Mail, possibly turning into a magnet, or of course, like I did here, I just popped it onto a couple layers of cardstock and I've got a card. I had a lot of fun making these embellishments, and I just think this mug die is so stinking cute. I can't wait to use these other embellishments on some magical Happy Mail. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!